Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. Fuck I am your ever-loving host, Shorty. And again, a bonus review where we talk about Neighbourhood watch. And I say bonus, it's the fourth one. I usually tried to do 4, but bank holidays meant stuff get pushed back. You get this on a weekend. Yay, on a Sunday even. But it's an extra one because I wasn't really as excited on this one. You know, if you've watched a lot of my reviews, crime fiction, unless it's noir, is not really my cup of tea. But I like the concept of this one enough to at least give it a shot. Boom Studios have got a pretty good reputation on trying to push some crime. Them and IDW at the moment both doing interesting stuff within the crime thing. And I've already been proved wrong once this week in the fact that what I thought would be a fairly generic heist thing turned out to be absolutely fantastic, and I'm really liking this Ren-fair bunch of idiots trying to pull off a robbery. But Neighbourhood Watch is a little bit more clear-cut in terms of its crime. Not necessarily like police procedural stuff, but there is still people going off investigating things because a terrible thing has happened. And I'm going to say right from the get-go, I'm probably going to have to talk about like the big twist that happens in this, because it's an important part of how we engage with the story being told. So if you've not read this comic book and you want to enjoy it on your own without me telling you what happens, feel free to walk away now, hit pause or hit stop, go and read the comic book, or don't, it's up to you, I'm not your boss. If you're okay with having a little bit of something spoiled, then stay along for the ride. Before we get to that, though, we have to talk about some stuff which I really genuinely enjoyed, and it's going to come down to Sarah Gailey and Haining working quite well together here in terms of how they set up the start of this, because the entire point of it is it's two different groups of people living very different lives but quite close to each other. It is some homeowners association people and some people living in a commune, and the HOA stuff, that's kind of mostly why I was looking forward to this. I am very aware of how creepy this is. Like, if you're going, hell, the old movie Burbs and the more recent remake will do a very good job of telling you just how messed up and creepy it is possible to tell stories within that environment. But if you go and watch the John Oliver Last Week Tonight episode about HOAs, just the stuff they put on Front Street is messed up. I want stories about how terrible it is. I know it sounds very, very weird, but it's like, yeah, it is a terrible place. Keep telling stories about how messed up it is. But the commune side of it I do quite like as well, not because it feeds into just what I expect and what I want and doing confirmation bias, but because Gailey, I don't think she'd be too surprised if I said I could say she had a favourite of the two, or which one she'd rather live in. But she still understands that it's not perfect. The HOA stuff, it's a little bit more, again, Front Street. These people are quite selfish. They are doing it for petty power game kind of reasons, and quite happy to buck the system when it doesn't cost them anything. In the commune, we still have some of that going on, but it's a little bit more subtle, and it carries with it a little bit more weight, because it's more about the ego of these people and how people kind of are just this way. You take any large enough group and there will be some arseholes in there, and if you're absolutely convinced you're right and have evidence to back it up and somebody argues with you, you might carry on that argument because you want to prove that you are right and you can back it up. But the argument doesn't actually accomplish anything. It's a very human trait, one I am guilty of myself, and I do get it, and I like that it's done. You also have some really nice layouts where we get to see the two different lives lived on pages opposite each other. The first time this happens, it is an actual meeting of these two organisations, and I was, not going to lie, a little bit concerned that was going to be like a beat-for-beat thing going through, and we get like the same kind of story but just from different eyes. Thankfully, better writing prevailed, and we actually get the chance to really see these characters, the lives they live, their relationships with the people, the dialogue choices they make for how they interact with each other, all really strong character building. And I'm going to go out and say Haining here absolutely nailed it as well. Clearly, they love like actual human characters. There's not gone for really photorealism in this one, but they're still very, very human. There's no over-the-top caricature body parts that are done just for either humor or horror, but these people are all very, very different. I'm not going to say unique, but there's enough difference in them. You can tell the artist clearly loves what they've done and had so much fun making all these individual people, and I love it for that. There's also some really nice layouts as we get towards the reveal, which is that it turns out the person who went missing and we find dead actually exists in both halves, but the two halves don't understand or realise that this person existed in both halves. And I've got to say, the reason I'm bringing this up, rather than leaving it to be discovered by people who read it, is it's an important plot point, but it also is kind of telegraphed. I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if it's just me looking for these little clues. I don't know if it's me paying a little bit too much attention to layouts and how we have a lot of things cut away from what we're supposed to see and what we're supposed to engage with. But when it came to the reveal, I was like, well, yeah, that's what was going on. Now, if it's an intentional thing, they've done brilliantly, massively done. Heining's layouts in that lead up to it's brilliant when we see the playing around with form, absolutely superb, and we still get some fantastic character stuff going on there. But I am curious if that was the intent, and I don't know. So let's see how that plays out. That's it for me for now, though. Until I see you all again, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.